everyone, and I'm the president of the federation, and I'm really very excited to be here to see so many of you have joined us. And I will, in fact, let Muriel de Wecker, who is the executive director of the Alliance Française Charlottesville and board member of the federation, to take over. And I would also tell you that she's been instrumental in creating this language immersion program. So it's all yours.
All right, thank you, Upi. Well, hi, everybody. Bonjour, bonsoir, depending where you're from. For me, it's already bonsoir because I'm on the East Coast. I'm really delighted to see you all and very interested in going to Bordeaux with me. This is going to be a fantastic program. So before I get started, I just wanted you to know that, I'm on the Federation's board. We're located in Charlottesville, Virginia. We're a small chapter we have about 200 members, so we're a small alliance. And tonight I've invited Cornelia Granberry, who's one of our board directors, who went to Bordeaux with me last year. So what happened is a year ago, we turned 30. So we decided to take a group to Bordeaux. Originally from there, I spent most of my teenage years in Bordeaux, and I did my undergraduate degree in Bordeaux. So I'm very familiar with this beautiful city. If any of you have already been there, you know that it's a fantastic city. It's very dynamic. It's in the southwest of France, and there's a lot to love about Bordeaux. So tonight I have invited Cornelia because I think it will be really interesting to hear her perspective. And Cornelia did a homestay. So she stayed with a French family. So I thought it'd be interesting for you guys to hear, her experience, what she liked, what she learned, and all of that. So I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to first kind of explain what the goals of this trip are. So this is an immersion experience. And it's dear to me. I'm a teacher of French. I've been teaching for many, many years. And I learned English through my host families, my American host families when I was younger. There's no better way to learn about culture and to perfect your language skills than being immersed in the language with a host family. So the primary goal of this program is really to improve your linguistic skills and cultural knowledge. Many of the participants from last year had been to France many times, for many years, but more as tourists, of course. So staying at Airbnbs, at hotels. And the ones who decided to do homestay, for them, it was really a transforming experience because they really got a deeper understanding of French culture, of the way the French see things. They discover things that they would not have been exposed to as a simple tourist. This trip has two options. You can do homestay and hotel, and I will talk more about that. But I would really encourage you to really look into staying with a family. I think that you will learn a lot about the culture, about the language, and about yourself. The second goal is to have fun. This is really important. We had a lot of fun a year ago. I knew this trip would be great, because I have a very good partnership with Alliance Française de Bordeaux. The little story is that many, many years ago, when I was much younger, and when I started teaching French, that was my first teaching job for a summer. I taught Alliance Française de Bordeaux, and one of my colleagues is actually now the director of the Alliance Française de Bordeaux. So I think it's just like amazing, many years later, 5 years later, that here we are, both of us directors, and having a partnership like that. So Bordeaux is a fantastic city. You'll have a lot of fun. It's an easy city too, so the stress will be less than if we're in Paris, for instance. So I will talk about that a little bit more. But I thought before I give you all the details about the trip, the logistics and all of that, that we would look at, so this is, Bordeaux, as you can see. So there's several alliances in France. Next year we'll go to Bordeaux, and as a little aparté, I'm actually taking my alliance to Lyon in the spring in May. So more likely, if it goes well, the following year, I will offer the Lyon trip at the federation's level also. So that will be also an opportunity, and it's kind of the same model. All right. So I'm going to show you pictures first. So just to give you an idea of, what it will look like. So the first day, I host a little reception for 2 hours. And this were my group. We had a long table. So that the trip we took last year was in October, and it was so warm. Actually, it was not just warm, it was hot. So that was the first day in Bordeaux. And after our meeting, many of the ladies went to Monoprix and got summer dresses. It was so hot. It was ridiculous, blue skies. I mean, we lucked out with the weather. It was really fantastic. And as you can see, everybody was in a good mood, having fun. So the first event is a welcome reception. And what I usually do, so this is an immersion trip, so everything will be in French except the first 30 minutes to assuage any anxiety, any stress, any questions you may not want to ask in French. I cover the essentials, the first 30 minutes in English, so that, answer your questions. For that, you won't hear me speak English at all for the rest of the trip, because it's an immersion program. All right. So as you know, you will be taking classes at Alliance Française de Bordeaux. So it will be at your level. So you will we'll send you a placement test, and Bordeaux will look over it and place you at the appropriate level, so the level you're at. Just to clarify, this program is for all levels except the A1 level. So for beginners, we cannot accommodate beginners. It's a bit too tricky to do that. But if you're at the A2 level all the way to C2, the Alliance de Bordeaux can accommodate, because it's a big alliance. So every week they have groups at the different levels of proficiency. So my group, I really had the gamut from A2 to C1, C1 plus. So that's really interesting. And you will be with students from our group, but also from all over the world. So you will be mixed with students from all over the world. And maybe I'll pause here for a second. Cornelia, can you tell us a little bit about your experience in the classroom?
Well, first of all, I will say I learned so much in the classroom, but we had fun while we were doing it. The teacher was outstanding. She was really good at engaging all of us in conversations. We broke up frequently into small groups to discuss topics that she asked us to discuss, and then we would report back. So we were very engaged the entire time. The time flew. I hardly knew that it was time to go, because we were really focused on what was going on throughout the class. And loved meeting the people who were truly from all over the world. It
was interesting to be. I visited the classrooms, and in Cornelia's classroom, there was someone from Russia, from Ukraine, from the Middle East. There were a couple of Americans, and they would exchange their perspective on a specific problem or theme of the day. I think it's very enriching. The professor you see on the left, there are all kinds of different styles. He was really the group really liked him. He was kind of cool. He had a lot of technology. So Alliance Française de Bordeaux has really interactive, screens. They're very up to date. It's dynamic. It's intense. You'll be in class from 9 till 1 p.m. For a full week. So it's intense, but you will learn so much that, in just, reduce, the thing is, it's so intense, and you learn so much that you will see your progress. That was really interesting for me as a teacher after we returned to Charlottesville, the progress that all the participants made in just a short week. It was really, really fun to see that. So this is on the left. The lady here is the director, Cécile Delaunay. She's the director of the Alliance Française. So she had a little reception for our group. Very nice people, very nice staff, always willing to help, answer any questions. We also took a tour of Bordeaux. So Bordeaux is the fourth Yeah, largest city in France, maybe fifth. Okay. And it's an 18th century city, Renaissance style. So, and as you can see, it's beautiful. A lot of the city is pedestrian, so it's fun to walk in Bordeaux. As you can see, our participants had sneakers on, so just you will walk a lot. That's something that, you know, it's European style. Huh? In France, we walk a lot. And this gentleman was a volunteer for the Alliance Française de Bordeaux, and he gave us a 2-hour-long tour. It was really fun. It was really interactive, all in French. So this is downtown Bordeaux, le Grand Théâtre, Victoire, and all of that. This is what we did. We also had a cours de pâtisserie. Boy, that was fun. So we split the group into 3 different levels. So I was with, you'll see on the pictures here, with the A2 students, less advanced students. The gentleman on the left in the blue polo shirt is actually a travel companion. So as you know, you can have a travel companion with you. So this is an immersion program. So everything is done in French. This particular gentleman, he was so easygoing. He's actually the husband of the lady right in front of him. And he spoke no French, zero, nothing. He's originally Spanish speaking, so probably could like, you know. So the only times I would speak English to him is like at the end of the, at 1 p.m. when you all go out, leave class, you know, and meet you. Usually travel partners would be there waiting for their spouses or their friends. So that's the only time I would speak a little English with them. But otherwise, it's all in English. And he was so easygoing, you know, he just like baked with us. We had a lot of fun. So this worked really well too. We were making chouquettes, so this traditional pâtisserie of Bordeaux. It was delicious, as you can see. It was nice to make them and then eat them. It was the best. So it was a 2-hour baking session. So there's great vocabulary building, as you can imagine. And we had a great leader for that. Of course, Bordeaux, wine. All right. So we took a tour of the Chateau Pape Clément. So we actually can go there by bus, public transportation. And this was a lot of fun too. We had a fantastic guide, and she showed us like the estate, you know, from A to Z, about their production line and all of that. As you can see, just beautiful. Again, beautiful weather. And of course, at the end, we had degustation. It was a lot of fun. Cornelia, do you want to say a few words about the visit to the chateau of?
Well, first of all, it was a beautiful drive out there just to kind of see a little bit more outside of Bordeaux. And it was a beautiful property. And yeah, and the best part was tasting the different wines. But she explained, we went into the cellars and we got to get a better understanding. It's a very complex procedure, obviously, but they explained it to us, and we all enjoyed having a taste of it. And then we got to go shopping, and some people actually sent like a case home.
It was so funny. We invaded the wine store. They were very happy with us. And they also, it was really nice, like the wine tasting, they really got nice bottles out. Well, really, I was very impressed. They just, you know, they were very generous.
Yeah, we got
so yes. Oh, this was like fun memories here. So this is Dune du Pilat, the highest sand hill in Europe. So you climb it, and then you get a view of Bassin d'Arcachon, and it's just beautiful. So again, we lucked out with the weather. It was just fantastic. Anything you want to say, Cornelia? I see you on the on the middle.
I had so much fun on this trip. Yes, walking up to the top of the dune was somewhat challenging, but really, really fun. And when you get up at the top, you could see forever. And we had so much fun on this trip. Yeah. And obviously we plopped down for photo ops, lots of photo ops. But
That's fine.
it would be a place I would go if I went back on my own. I would go back there.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, so we went after that to Arcachon, which is a city near Dune du Pilat. Actually, one of my students is feet in the water here, and we had coffee, and we did a lot of shopping, nice atmosphere, just fun. And I loved also after going to Route. So, in Bassin d'Arcachon, it's famous for oysters and oyster cultivation. No, you don't say that. How do you say that? Fishing, I guess. No, how do you say that? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oyster farming?
Harvesting.
Yeah,
Farming, because
oyster farming, yes.
I'm in Louisiana. We farm oysters down here.
Yeah, I was getting a bit confused.
Yeah, we do in Maine too.
Okay, that's good. So it was so fun. It was a little place there. It was so lovely. I actually didn't know it. Being from Bordeaux, you would think it was so fun. The owner was also really very welcoming. He actually gave us a tour of his shop, and how like he explained how he farms oysters. He showed us his boat and all of that. It was really nice, and we had a dégustation d'huîtres, and then also white wine. And that ended the day. It was really nice. And we're only talking an hour and a half, not even that, from Bordeaux. So very accessible. So see, everybody's happy. Tell you, we had a great time. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this slide and we're going to go to the website. That's probably, so just want to make sure that I don't forget anything. So I'm going to go into details now. Can you see the website? Want to make sure that, yes. Okay. All right. So we will be, as I mentioned, so this is an immersion trip. We'll be collaborating with Alliance Française de Bordeaux Nouvelle-Aquitaine. This is for A2 level to C2 level students. And you have two housing options, hotel or homestay. I'll talk about that in a minute, a little bit more. So basically, this is kind of like the improved version of last year's trip. Like, as I said, everything was so perfect. That trip went so well. The only negative thing, and it was like they said, Muriel, should be longer because there's so much to do in Bordeaux that, I had every afternoon busy with activities, and I think that was a bit much. And some participants didn't even partake in the activities because they just wanted to hang out in Bordeaux, So I was like, for the next trip, we're not going to do that. So that's why I have stretched the trip. Now it's 10 days, literally, because we went for 7 days only last year. And I think that's going to be so much better because every other day you will have your afternoon free. So you can hang out, do your thing, enjoy. It will be less, stressful, I think. What do you think, Cornelia?
Well, I was going to add too, it's so easy to get yourself around Bordeaux. It's a beautiful place to wander. There's some lovely sections of the older part of the town that just you just meander down the streets and the shopping and find little restaurants. And also, yeah, it's beautiful, and it's really I have no sense of direction. Muriel knows that very well. So but it's easy, even for me. It was really easy. Public transportation if you need it, but we were able to walk most everywhere. So it was fun, a lot of fun, even at night. Yeah.
And before I forget, so we cannot accept registrants from California, Florida, Hawaii, or Washington State at the moment for legal reasons. I won't go into details. I understand that those of you who have signed up for this session are not from the state, so we should be good. I just wanted to remind you. So I'm going to click on program schedule. There we are. And I'm just going to go day by day. All right. So just to go over everything. So you'll be arriving on that Thursday, September 11. And for those of you who
can't see that.
You don't see
let me see. So let me share again. See, I wasn't sure.
So you just need to scroll a little bit.
Hang on one sec. All right, can you see it now?
Not me.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes, okay, all right. So you'll be arriving, so as I said, so for this program, so you will take care of your airfare, of the getting there, all right? So going to Bordeaux, depending on where you're from, usually, so I'm from the East Coast, so, I usually do Washington, Paris. my routine, and because I've done it so many times, you know, I arrive in Paris, I take the RER and I go by train. So we have a high-speed train from Paris and it takes 2 hours to get to Bordeaux. For me, this is the best way. You could also decide to fly to Bordeaux. So not, you know, not if you're like, if you don't want to worry about the RER or the train, you know, it's also possible. You know, Cornelia, what did you do? You took the train, right?
We took, yes, because we had decided to explore Brittany before we.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Some of my participants actually arrived earlier or left later, so that they spent more time in France. That's right. You went to Bretagne, so that was fun. But so some of them flew, some of them took the train. Personal preference. There are trains every 30 or 40 minutes almost to Bordeaux, and like yeah, so it's very easy, you know, even if you miss your train, there'll be a train following hours. So that's, and I will talk about that. I will have a pre-departure orientation and all of that, so we can go into details about that, you know, how to book your train, which train to. So I usually for myself, the way I do it, in case your flight is delayed for some reason, I count 3 hours in between the time I arrive at Charles de Gaulle and the time I take my train, just to have some wiggle room and, you know, not have to worry, not to rush. And, you know, you can have a cafe and just take your time, you know. So that's what I recommend. All right. So you will be arriving in Bordeaux in the afternoon. You will check in with your homestay, your host family, if you have decided to opt for homestay, or you will check into your hotel. And the reason why we're doing that is because on Friday, already in the morning, we're going to start the program officially. So I will welcome you at 10 a.m. We'll have a little reception at a cafe in Bordeaux, and you'll have lunch on your own. And then we'll start the first activity. At 2 p.m., we'll have the guided tour of Bordeaux. Saturday, you're off. Okay, and Saturday is fun in Bordeaux because that's when stores are all open. There's the Rue Sainte-Catherine, which is the longest pedestrian street in Europe, and it's where all the stores are, so you can just go wild and crazy. It's a lot of fun. So when I was a child, my mom would take us to Rue Sainte-Catherine and would go shopping on Saturday afternoon, and the atmosphere is really nice. And then on Sunday, we'll spend the day in Saint-Emilion, which is an hour away from Bordeaux. So there's a bus, and then it's a medieval city. They're famous for their macarons aussi. So it's a fun. So we didn't do that last year, Cornelia, because again, we had only 7 days. So this was added to the program, and it will be a lot of fun. All right. Monday. So Monday is the big day. Okay, when you start classes. So I will be with you at the Alliance there at 9 a.m. and then you'll be dispatched into your classrooms, and you will have class until 1 p.m. And when you exit, I will be there if you need any help or anything, and then you'll be free for the afternoon. And then on Tuesday, same thing, class in the morning, and we'll have the cours de pâtisserie in the afternoon. So again, I'll be there. We'll walk, or we'll take the tram. Well, we're going to take the tram together for the cours de pâtisserie. That was so much fun, this cours de pâtisserie. And then on Wednesday, you're free. So the days, I wanted to tell you, the days there's no activity. I will not be coming in at 1 p.m. because I'll be a bit outside of Bordeaux, but I will be online. So if you need to talk to me or check in, we used WhatsApp last year, and it worked really well because I'll be working actually for my own alliance. So all day, on the days we don't have activities, I'll be working from home, but I'm of course available. So if you need any help or anything happens, I'm available. And then for all the activities, I'll be with you. All right. So in the morning, while you're all working on your French, I'll be working. So that's what's going to happen. Okay. On Thursday, class, and then we'll go to Chateau Pape Clément and do a little bit of wine tasting. And on Fridays, that's going to be our last day, class, and we'll go to Arcachon, La Dune du Pilat, and do some oyster tasting. And then on Saturday, that's when you check out your homestay, etc. All right. So let's see. Now I'm going to click on program details. So we already talked about group classes, so from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Alliance Française de Bordeaux, like my alliance, we use Cosmopolite. So this is a textbook. Cornelia, can you say like you got copies or did you get the book? It varied depending on the group.
Yeah, they copied the pages from Cosmopolite that we were using for that particular lesson when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
But we did not have to have the full book with
No.
us.
I mean, yeah, I told my students, you know, if you have Cosmopolite and you like to have your own textbook, that's fine, but you don't have to. So.
May I also add, there is a break in there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Don't panic 9 to 1 because you are really working. You're intense. They give you, I can't remember, 20-minute break or something like that. And you could, I've always brought a snack and had a little something just to kind of keep going for the rest of the time. But
so were you like, how was your first day? Were you a bit nervous about it or what was the?
well, always, you know, starting something new. But the other thing I wanted to add with that is the families. I was in a host family. They were so helpful. The father of the family actually walked us to the school to make sure we knew how to get there, and pointed out landmarks along the way. So the families are very, very helpful. For us, they were, and I had a roommate of the family I was with. So that kind of eased some of the, you know, uncertainty when you were doing this, as there was someone else that I already knew from here. So didn't know her before the trip, but I got to know her. But anyway, yeah, it's so much fun. I never really felt uncomfortable.
That's good. All right, talking about homestay. So for housing options, you have two options. You know, you can do Airbnb, hotel that you arrange on your own. If you select that and you have questions about that or which neighborhood, you know, to stay at, happy to answer any questions you may have to make sure you're in the right neighborhood. Bordeaux, you know, is like any big city. You have to pay attention to your surroundings, but I would say overall, it's a fairly safe city, you know, you know, if if you're not sure about where to stay in Bordeaux, do ask me. All right. So I'm happy to help you with that. And of course, there's homestay. So before I ask Cornelia about her experience with her homestay family, you know, when you decide, you know, should I do homestay or not? So this is, you know, everybody's different. If you are someone who maybe likes one's little comfort, as I age, you know, I like my little comfort, you know, I like my maybe not talking so much at night or this and that, maybe a hotel option is better, right, for you, because it's intense. You know, you'll be with the group most of the time. You will be taking classes in the morning. And maybe you feel that you're going to be so tired that you want your downtime, but maybe probably hotel is, you know, an option for you. Now, if you're really motivated and if you want to challenge yourself and feel like, heck, this is quite an opportunity to really have a deeper understanding and knowledge of the French, you know, and that you're willing to be flexible, go with the flow, and be open to the experience, then do select homestay. So you're lucky because last year, you know, was our first time doing that, and all of the families were fantastic. So I've asked Bordeaux to have the same families for us, you know, next year, so that you'll more likely have a great experience. But like any family, you know, sometimes things happen. What's important is communication. You know, don't wait. If you're like, there's something with your host family and you're uneasy about, just come and talk to me right away, right? So this, like anything should be fixed by the first day, right? To make sure, because if you if you don't communicate with us, and then you're just going to be hard throughout the week, you're not going to be stressed. There's a lot going on. But I have to say that her homestays, I mean, they were amazing. So also want to say, you know, it's comfortable. These are middle-class families. It's safe and clean. You may have to share a bathroom, but it's not the Ritz, right? So as I say, if you like your little comfort, you're not sure about that, maybe a hotel option is better for you. However, you know, I would encourage you to do homestay, of course, because it's quite the experience. So Cornelia, tell us all about your host family and what you learned.
I had the most wonderful host family. The wife or mother of the family, their kids were grown. She was a substitute teacher, and she would go off in the morning after she fixed us a beautiful breakfast. She would go off on her bike to go to her school where she was teaching. The father was actually already retired, but he was also, frequently doing his own thing and busy. But anyway, they were delightful. My favorite part of the day was when I came home. We would go to our rooms at first and kind of have a little time to relax, but then we'd go down, kind of ask if it was okay if we came into the family space because we wanted to give them their space too. And then we would just sit and talk and talk and talk and talk. And it was so wonderful. It was such an incredible opportunity for me. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but to really get my confidence in speaking. And they were just so wonderful in working with us. And I did have, there was another woman from Charlottesville. Like I said, I didn't really know her beforehand, but we got along great. We each had our own bedroom, and you share the bath.
Right.
But we would sit around the dinner table for another hour plus after dinner. We watched one of the rugby matches with them one night on TV. That they were a big match that I've forgotten who played, but anyway, they were all into it. So we talked rugby in French, and it was truly it was what I wanted most of all, was that opportunity to be with this family. And we actually have kept up since then using WhatsApp. We have communicated and just.
That is amazing that you guys have stayed in touch. You're not the only one still in touch with your host families, It's truly
Delightful, absolutely delightful. And any questions we had, any things we were concerned about, they certainly took care of it. So they were
Yeah, the families that AFB chooses, of course they paid for it, but they are not paid a ton of money. So they do it because they want to do it. Okay, their heart is in it, right?
Yeah.
So these are people who are really very welcoming, and they're used to hosting, international students, and it's all ages, but I think that really they really enjoyed our group because you guys were so involved and curious, about the whole experience. I think they really appreciated, our group. Also wanted to say, what I like doing is, unless you really want to be on your own, so usually it's 2 per family. And I think there's also a little comfort there. Maybe some of you haven't been to France that much or feel, uneasy to be alone with a host family. So I can pair you up. So if you have a preference, I mean, this trip is going to be a bit different because you're from all over. My group was from Charlottesville, essentially. So we kind of all knew each other a little bit. But if you want to be paired with someone in particular, just let me know and we'll do our best to accommodate that. So in addition to the cultural experience, is also they feed you dinner. So you will eat well. I, heard story last year. It was amazing. I was like, I want to stay in a host family. The dinners were really, really good. And, you'll have breakfast. So that's included too. So lunch is on your own. So that's a pretty good deal too. All right.
To that, Muriel, the other woman who was with me had a few dietary issues, and the family certainly
Yes.
took care of that for her. So it was not a concern. They were very careful to make sure I've forgotten what it was, if it was gluten or
yes,
dairy. But anyway, they were very careful to make her something special, cook it in a different way. But I'm telling you what, I've never had such good food in my entire life. It was every meal was just fresh. All the ingredients were fresh from their garden. So it was outstanding.
Yes. So, and the AFB is pretty good. Like they will ask us, if you have any dietary restrictions or allergies, they'll try their very best to accommodate, so just be aware of that. If you have an allergy, we'll try to figure it out so that you can still have dinner with the family. All right. Let me see. All right. So as I mentioned, I'll be with you throughout the program. And included also is the local transportation. So that's what I like about Bordeaux. It's easy. I mean, I love Paris. I'm from Paris originally, and I love Paris. But, you know, it's not as stressful. Like Bordeaux is very dynamic. There's all you need from a big city without the inconveniences, I would say. I think it's safer. I think it's easier. I think people are friendlier. I think it's because of the weather too. So, and they have this fantastic tramway system that didn't exist like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And it's clean, easy. You can't get lost. Really, you cannot get lost. So we will give you a transportation card, and it's also valid for buses. And it gives you unlimited access to Bordeaux buses and the tramway network. Cornelia, do you have any, because you're challenged with directions, right? But
I managed to take the tram without any trouble. I did most of the time. I just walked because my family was within walking distance. And mind it was about a 20-minute walk to school in the mornings. But I love to walk, so I wanted to get the exercise anyway. But yes, I did learn how to do the tram, so without issue.
yeah, very easy, very easy. And I'll explain that, you know, at our reception the first day. So, and your host families, you know, will explain, and everything's pretty straightforward. So you can have a travel partner with you. So I limited the number of travel partners because it's an immersion program. So I wanted to make sure that French is spoken throughout the entirety of the program. So at the moment, it looks like we have 22 students and 2 travel partners. And so we'll have to move up whoever is first on the wait list and is not with a travel partner will be moved up tomorrow, I believe. So there will be 23 if everybody, you know, pays for the program. At the moment, that's what it looks like. There'll be 23 students and 2 travel partners. So the travel partner basically does everything except classes. This is listed here, what's included and not included. I'll let you read it. Yeah, let me see. And all right, so now I'm going to click on program cost. And then after that, I will open it to questions. So this is the program cost for homestay participants, $1,850, $1,350 for hotel-based participants, and $500 for travel partners. So the way it works, that there is a $50 non-refundable deposit first. So right now we have a wait list, and I believe it's free. So if you moved up to, you know, if some people drop out of the program, you'll be moved up. So you'll have to pay the $50 non-refundable deposit. And then after that, the first payment is going to be April 16th. Second is going to be May 16th. And excluded our transportation to and from Bordeaux, lunches for homestay participants, for hotel-based participants, all meals and accommodation. There's an insurance that includes repatriation, health, and liability that the Alliance de Bordeaux requires. There was a lot of discussion last year about that because everybody's different. Some people get it through when they paid their airfare. That covered what Alliance de Bordeaux wanted. Some paid extra for that. So I will explain that pre-departure orientation because everybody did different things. What did you do, Cornelia, for the...
Just trying to remember. I think it was like, is there a blue something? Because I was thinking Blue Cross Blue Shield, but there was some for health.
Right.
Yeah, I had some kind of health care.
Yeah. And it's really, it's not that expensive. I mean, really, considering, you know, we're in the US and health, you know, healthcare is so expensive. So it's really like the Alliance wants to make sure that if something happens to you, that you have a minimum of like, you know, coverage. So it's really light. So you have to make sure that you are your dues are paid at your local chapter, okay? And all of you I see on the list, your chapter is a member of the federation, so it's all good. And incidentals. All right. I think I kind of covered it all. Anything else, Cornelia, that you would want to share with us that I did not talk about?
One thing, I just saw somebody had posted a question about homework after the classes. I didn't really feel that I had homework I had to do, but I always liked to review what I had done that day. If I still had the energy left, I would take like 30 minutes before I went to bed, but I was going to bed like at 9:30 again, and then getting up early the next morning to, have breakfast and get to class by 9. So no, homework is not a huge deal. If you have just review, not really.
I also wanted to add, so if you're paired up with someone from like the program, I'll say that you really like, the temptation is to speak English, right? Like at the end of the day, you're tired. But I've asked the participants to kind of play the game and maybe decide, okay, we'll speak English for 30 minutes at the end of the day, if that essential things we want to say, but we're going to try to speak French to each other, which can be awkward initially. But I tell you, they did it. I was very proud of them. Really, like, you guys rocked it down, Cornelia. Like, all of you spoke French. I heard very little English. And I think it really helps, because your brain is just all in French during the program. So, okay.
So, Muriel, thank you so much. Can I just go ahead and share with you all some of the questions that
Yes.
some have been answered. So the first thing was just to see how deep was the list, the waiting list. And as of today, what I can see is there's 7 people on the waiting list.
Okay. All right. That's where we at. Yes. So, and we'll leave it open. I mean, so if you want to be on the wait list, do sign up. And then, because again, you never know, like some people may drop out. So, yes.
So the second one was also if there's a possibility of getting on, how do you get on the waiting list? But as you said, you will have to wait until one person drops. And then there was also another question about how many people are in each level of classes.
But that doesn't matter because all levels are offered. So last year, it was interesting because I would say a third were just happened to be at the A2 level. I had maybe a third B1, B2-1, and then I had advanced students. So that has no impact on your participation or whatnot. You'll be in a class at your level. So this program, except it's not for beginners, but otherwise it's for everybody.
Okay. The other question was if we paid the $50 fee, are we officially confirmed for a spot on the trip?
Yeah, so that means that you're showing interest, but it is possible for some reason that someone drops out before the first payment. See what I mean? So this is a non-refundable 50. So basically, it shows that you show interest, that you intend to register, but at the end of the day, it's after the first payment is made that I can. So I think this program is going to be full, so I'm not too worried about that. But we need a minimum, technically a minimum of 15 people. But I already know this is going to be It's going to be a go. But what I usually do is I wait until the first payment, and then I confirm with you, say it's a go. Now you can go and book airfare. That's what I will do. I will wait, and then I will say, okay, now it's a go. We have a minimum of 15, and I'm going to book my airfare and start making plans. So and again, I'm not worried about that because we have a long wait list. So it's not going to be a problem.
Good, good, good. The other question was about dietary restrictions, mainly if you are would you choose at that point to go into a hotel? I mean, some of you are, being
Right.
respectful of not having
So
to.
if you have a lot of dietary, restrictions, maybe hotel is easier.
Like vegan, for example,
So I think vegan wouldn't be problematic, right? But you have really like an allergy, like, I don't know, like something really specific because, and then, you're worried about it. If you're really worried about it, I would do hotel so that, yes, that's what I would do.
Okay, so the other one, I think there was Patricia who had asked, they have submitted their deposit and they've received confirmation and they just wanted to know what the next steps are. It's what you just said.
Yes. So wait until the first payment, as I said, I can't remember.
Yeah.
First payment April 16th. Then you will hear say, hey, the program is a go, and then then there will be communication from me and Melissa.
Perfect.
Yes. So, but I mean, I'm not worried about it. I know that since there's a wait list now that this program is
Yep, and we have time, right?
yes,
The beginning of the year, we still have time.
yes, absolutely. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, do not hesitate. Yes.
So someone is asking, they had selected a hotel accommodation when they registered, and they would like to make it into a homestay.
Nice.
When we will take care of
Yeah,
this,
absolutely.
Melissa will help
Yes.
you out with
If you
this
could
one.
send an email to Melissa, and so maybe we should put in the chat Melissa's email address.
I will just send you her email address here.
She will
And,
switch your registration.
and I will put it here, and please just send her. There we go. And then let me see, we had so it could be at least not before April 1st, before we know if we can, someone will be able to, or even before, because there might be some other people who, even after paying their $50 deposit, decide to.
That's right. So it is
to
possible.
leave before. We've been having a few like this, yeah.
Exactly.
So this is, then I was thinking of the numbers of students at each level, the size. Is it how big are the classes?
The classrooms, they're small. Cornelia, do you remember maybe I don't know, maximum
15.
Yeah, 15 maximum. But so maybe in the lower levels, they're bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Because Cornelia was at the B2 level. So you didn't have 15 in your classroom, did you?
It was a U-shaped table, yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think 15.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But everyone had plenty of opportunity. Your chance to use your French is ample.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
The teachers, they're very experienced, and it's good also. It was good for my group to experience a different teaching style. They are used to our teaching style at the Alliance of Charlottesville, but it was good for them to see. And they also have a lot of new technology, and was totally envious as director. I was like, fancy boards, electronic boards, and all of that. So it's interesting to see how they teach.
The topics were very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that cosmopolite is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the other question was, someone is asking, what is AF chapter? AF chapter is your local Alliance Française chapter. So
That's
right. That's and it's not there that you're going to get on the list. You have to get on the list on the federation.
That's right. So yes, so I'm the director of that chapter. There's 106 chapters in the US, and the federation oversees all of us EF chapters in the US. So there, I'm helping, I'm the one who is leading this program, but I'm doing it on behalf of the federation, right? So and the participants of this trip will be from all over. Last year they were from my area, from Charlottesville and Richmond. Yes.
So if you're not member of an Alliance Française, you need to become a member of
so what
an Alliance that's local.
That's right.
Yeah.
Local to you, your area. You'll see, if you go to the Federation's website, we have a map, and you can click and see what chapter is the closest to you, and sign up for membership there, and then you can be participant.
So I have another question about the fact that they are a large group that might be interested to join. Are there chances to accommodate 2 groups? And I'm not sure what you mean, Nila, by this.
So because it's an immersion,
I'm not sure what if Nila
Yes,
wants.
there's a group of us, so many people interested, and it was so disappointing. I'm the only one who got my $50 and nobody else got in. So I don't know if any of them are on the waiting list. I just wondered if you consider doing a second group.
Second to Bordeaux.
Yes.
My God. Okay. So personally, no, because I'm going to Lyon with my group and I'm going to board. So that's a little bit one person office on top of that. So I have a lot going. But it is true that, so what I would like to do, like, because I just, I moved it at the national level to see like the type of interest I would get. And it looks like this is something that will be ongoing. So we will be offering, my goal, my hope is that we will be offering a trip at least like once a year. Maybe we could do Bordeaux a second time, well, we can discuss that.
Absolutely.
My goal also is that, I'm starting this new program because the Fédération has never done that before, but also want to involve other executive directors. So right now I'm the leader for the group, but I would love for other executive directors from other chapters to lead, the travel program so that they all also have a chance to take their students and you all, to France. So that's kind of like how I envision this program. So at the moment, we're going to just do it, one at a time.
Is
But
it
maybe
possible?
Whoopi could like lead like Bordeaux.
Is it possible to get a list of other Alliance Française besides Bordeaux that they could look into?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You could send an email to Melissa and she'll be able to reply. And I see another, Melissa, you have her email address. I just put it in the chat. It's
Okay, thank
Melissa
you.
Sora.
She's the coordinator of the fair.
All right.
And I don't think that, Muriel, you want to expand the size of the group at this point?
So here's the idea, because just, it's an immersion program. I think 25 is the maximum. I really like also, last year worked so well because we all knew each other. The group dynamics were great. And I think above 25, it's just too many people, you know what I mean? And I just really want to have like good dynamics among our group. So for me personally, I think 25 is plenty. That's my philosophy.
So a very, practical, how hard are the chairs for 5 hours?
Cornelia.
Well, you don't just sit. You're not just sitting. You're getting up and moving around the room and talking to different groups within your the other students in your class. So you're not sitting that entire time.
Okay.
There's a long coffee break, so don't worry too much.
Well, even when you're having the discussions, you're moving around the room. You're not just sitting.
And now there's another question about placement exams. Are we going to offer? There's someone who's mid-upper B1. Would they pass a B2 by the time of the
So every alliance in France does things differently. So for Bordeaux, they actually have a paper copy. They send me everything, and then I will share it with you, and then you will take the test on your own, and then send it back to me, and I'll send it to them, and then they're gonna go over it and tell you what your level is. So it's fairly straightforward. So last year, because it was my own group, we did it at my alliance. Cornelia, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, I was out of town when you did it.
That's right.
So I had to do it on my own, but I will say that the placement was perfect.
Yeah.
I felt like I was where I needed to be without a doubt. They do a beautiful job of placing you. So don't be concerned. I was, I'm one of those students.
But you guys were all nervous, but it's just a placement test. Don't stress about it.
And I'm certain if you were incorrectly placed and you felt that on the front end, you could talk to Muriel and she would help you.
Yeah, actually, there was one student who, right on the first day, she felt a bit overwhelmed, and they moved her because it's such a big alliance. They have different levels within a level. So they have A2.1, A2.2, A2.3. I have not that luxury because my alliance is small, so just A2. But Bordeaux has it all. So she was able to go the level down right away, and it was no problem at all. So
do you have some room for your trip in Lyon?
Actually, yes. But this one is not for the Fédération, but you are welcome to check out my website because actually I still have a few spots. So if you want to check the Charlottesville website, you're welcome to do so. And this trip is, so it's kind of the same model, immersion, and the activities are a bit different, but yes. And Cornelia is signed up to go to Lyon with me.
Try to be
Nice.
the first one to sign up because
So that's really interesting because for my Lyon program, most of the participants from last year have signed up and then they told their friends. So now, so it's going to be a fun one too. Yes.
Can you put in the chat the address to contact you for that?
Sure. You can, yes, I can definitely put my email and I'll do that.
But our trip is going in May.
That's right. So yeah.
So our first deposit is due soon.
Yes, soon in a couple of weeks.
So
You
we are coming to 5 minutes to the end. So if anyone has any other question, you have all of everyone's contacts. You have Muriel's. You have sorry, I go by Sora. No, it's Melissa's. It's and please contact us, ask us for any other questions, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope it was nice for you. You've learned things, and all your answers have been. We got answers for your questions.
And I'm looking forward to meeting you in person very soon in Bordeaux.